welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. I am fortunate enough to be joined by Charlie, the Hurricane Skillen from the Mail Online. Thank you very much.
How are you, mate? You okay?
No, I'm not. I'm very, very nervous, which is why you're here.
Me too.
As I'm sure you're aware, Chelsea have a mammoth fixture against Everton at Goodison Park. I'm buzzing for it, but I'm so nervous. This is a preview. Backpage Blues will be back as normal next week, but I've drafted in the beautiful brains of the operation, the Skillen, because I need help with this preview. It's such an important game, and we really do need to pick the correct team. So I thought I would get the wonderful man himself to join me to do that.
Well, thanks very much.
Yeah.
What an intro that was, you know.
It's true. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
What are the media saying about this fixture?
Well, look, I mean, this game has been made so much bigger than it needs to be. Everton away, I've always thought is one of the hardest fixtures in the calendar, no matter what.
I'd agree with that.
But you know, it's a great ground to go to. You
It's
know,
the most brilliant away end. It's one of my favourites.
Can't wait to go out there.
That
on
6-3 last year. What fun that was!
Amazing. But you know, this game, obviously, our dodgy start to the season and all the stories about Chelsea in the media. This game is really really huge. You know,
we can't not win. We can't not
you know,
win.
especially with the John Stones stuff and all the kind of build up that's given it. You know, that's been the narrative of the game really, building up to it. But the other narrative of the game that the kind of, as everyone's been talking about, is the pressure on Mourinho. If this goes badly, make no bones about it, Sunday's papers, Monday's papers, Tuesday's papers are going to be about knives out for Mourinho. Big time. If Mourinho gets his tactics wrong after a humiliation at Man City and a very, very, very poor performance against Palace at home, and you know all the rest this season and all the external stuff as well. If Chelsea flop at Goodison, you know, obviously I'm not going to tell you that Mourinho's hanging by a thread or whatever, but the knives will be out. You know, the scrutiny on him will be real severe.
Charlie, I know, and that is why you're here, because I needed help picking this team, basically. I need help from the big dog, but I also need help from you guys. So please, comment below. This is huge. Please, comment, let us know what team do you think should be playing. Right, Charlie, we should get onto our team. The obvious place to start is goalkeeper.
Yeah, now, came into the office this morning, loads of news flying about because everyone's back at training, everyone's back with the clubs after the international break. What do I see? Belgian press reporting that Thibaut Courtois has picked up a knock on international duty. Head in my hands moment. It's a massive, massive blow for Chelsea fans.
Is it? Is it? Because I think, I have a counter here. I think that it is obviously a shame, and I think the biggest shame is that we haven't had any continuity through the back line.
Yeah.
Sendings off, odd substitutions. We haven't been able to get any consistency about that. But if someone is going to be injured out of the 11, I think that Begovic is an able deputy. I think he covered himself in glory at the Etihad.
That goes without saying, but you know, for this fixture, Chelsea needs all their best hands on deck. I think that's undoubtedly Thibaut Courtois. Now, it must be said, you know, he's not definitely out of this fixture yet. It's a knock.
Fingers crossed.
You know, Mourinho's going to assess his fitness. Obviously, all the staff are going to assess his fitness in training before the game. But
so we wait with bated breath for the pressure.
It's not looking ideal, but at the minute, you know, you'd have to go with Begovic in goal.
Okay, so Begovic is keeper. This is where it gets exciting. Where should we go first? Should we go full back?
Should we go right back?
Should we go right back?
A contentious issue.
A very contentious issue. I have made my feelings clear that I love Ivanovic as a man and will forever love him. I've also made it clear that his performances of late have not been up to standard.
They've not been acceptable.
And I would have dropped him for the game against Palace. It's just a shame that we had other problems back there, so I felt like he had to play his vice-captain.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Terry's back. He had more problems against Palace. Ivanovic is dropped. My right back for this game, I assume that you agree, is
Cesar Azpilicueta.
Agreed.
You know, I don't want to see Ivanovic bombed out of Chelsea. I don't think he's become a bad player overnight.
Europa Cup. He's scored brilliant. He's a brilliant man. Chelsea man.
I don't agree with this kind of flip-flopping. Now he's brilliant. Now he's rubbish. But you know, his performances have been pretty terrible. He's certainly been one of our worst players in what's been a dodgy start.
But he's one of 4 or 5.
Yeah, 100%. And Mourinho's openly said that. I believe that it'd be a really good thing, I think, to actually see Cesar Azpilicueta play on his natural side. I also think when you're defending against Everton, they're really dangerous down the wings. They've got their own full-backs, Coleman and Baines.
You need a top team.
They're bombing forward.
Okay, well, you've mentioned their full-backs. I suppose we should complete the set for us. Our full-back on the other side?
It's a debut, Babu Rahman.
He had a very good game. He played very well for Ghana against Rwanda the other day. Yeah, I think that he is right to play. I think that he's right to play. It's time for him to come in, and we need him really because we need to free Azpilicueta up on the other side. So it's more of a necessity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know,
slightly a baptism of fire for Bubba.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, thrown right in the deep end at Goodison Park away, but he's got to sink or swim, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Frankly, I think you're right. I think if Terry had been available for the Palace game, you would have seen him play then, because it's crucial that when Rama makes his debut, Terry's next to him, and obviously Terry's the left-sided centre-back. That will be the case at Goodison. So
Bubba Rahman.
Yeah,
fingers crossed. If he plays well, imagine if we can get the David Bowie, Bubba Rahman chant going in that away end at Goodison.
Leave it with me. Me and you, mate, on the seats.
So our fullbacks sorted, our keeper is sorted. Centre halves.
For me, there's only two answers. Terry and Cahill.
All day long. Assuming that everyone agrees with this. For a fixture of this magnitude against tough opposition up north, like this is Gary Cahill and John Terry all day long.
Absolutely. You can't muck about with these fixtures. You certainly can't muck about in the current scenario.
You think Gary Cahill's going to be in a mask for about 3 months, I reckon?
Yeah. I mean,
what kind of a nose break is that?
The bloke is absolutely hard as nails.
Yeah, he's made of steel.
He
broke his nose scoring in a friendly.
Exactly. For some of his faults, one thing that can't be questioned is his commitment. Yeah. And I think you'd have to saw both of their legs off before they before they rule themselves out of the game.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'd have those at
centre half. Did you see a quote from it was an Italian commentator? He said, if you were to cross in a washing machine, John Terry would still head it out of the penalty area.
I think that's right. And he's certainly going to have his hands full with Lukaku, isn't he? So
Terry's got this. Terry's got this. Moving up the pitch. This is another tough call. Our two pivot positions.
Now, the one thing I would certainly not do, because it hasn't worked at all, and I think it's in fact been our weakest area, is playing Matic and Fabregas.
Because the definition of madness is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That is the definition of madness.
Said that?
Who?
Einstein.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But
learn something every day.
Yeah. Well, that is the definition of madness. So if we were to persist with these two...
Yeah,
So something's got to give here.
Yeah, if I'm Roberto Martinez and I'm watching Chelsea's first 4 games, the midfield and the right-back slot is where I think Chelsea can be got at. So there's no chance of playing Ivanovic, really. There's certainly no chance I'd play Matic and Fabregas in the middle. Right. Because although it worked last season,
it's not working this season,
it's not working this season.
Need to adapt.
There's no way I'd drop Nemanja Matic for a game of this magnitude.
So Matic is in?
100%. And, I was thinking that Kurt Zouma should maybe play, but I don't think he really gives you that mobility that you need. I'd rather go for Ramirez. What do you think?
I agree. I think Ramirez is a fantastic player when he's on form. I think that he's a good player when he's not. I would go for Ramirez in this position as well. I think that a pivot of Matic and Ramirez has so much energy, so many tackles. They will win the ball. They will. It will be a very, very hard-fought game, and these two have the fight.
Yeah. Ramirez couldn't join up with the Brazil squad, and obviously he was injured for the last Chelsea game as well. He actually hasn't appeared that much this season. But hopefully he'll be fresh and ready.
Pivot. No Fabregas. Is he dropped? So we'll have to
wait
move
and see.
Further up the pitch and find out.
Right wing.
Right wing it's got to be, isn't it?
Pedro Rodriguez.
It can only be old Pedro Rodriguez. I think he was incredible at West Brom. It was a debut up there with the best.
Yep.
He was off colour against Crystal Palace.
But he wasn't the only one, certainly.
Absolutely. So Pedro is. Definitely. He's exactly who we need in this fixture.
Look, Chelsea are going to need as many goal threats as possible.
He's certainly one of those.
The one thing I think he's brought to Chelsea is a goal threat when sometimes some of the other attackers haven't really stepped up to that plate. I think he's definitely, Everton are a great side, solidity-wise. They don't face players the quality of Pedro every day. So I really think that's going to give them something to think about. I think they can be got at down the left-hand side. They're such great attacking fullbacks.
Pushes on, doesn't he? Yeah.
But, if Chelsea get the ball in behind him, I think Pedro is going to be lethal.
Wonderful, lethal Pedro. Let's hope Charlie is right. I suppose we should move over to the other wing. It's Eden Hazard, isn't it? Regardless of people are suggesting he's off form. He scored a couple of goals for Belgium.
No, well, they're not suggesting it. He is off form. He's been very, very poor this season.
He has been, but I think that he was our Player of the Year last season.
Oh, he's going to play. Of course, he's going to play.
And we need to show. We always question players' loyalty.
Yeah.
It's important that fans and football clubs display a bit of loyalty as well. Eden Hazard's off form, but let's give him a chance to recapture his form. And this is the place to do it.
Absolutely. Chelsea going to need a spark of ingenuity.
Okay.
There is no man better than Eden Hazard.
So no doubt Hazard's in the team. I'm sure he's in all of your teams. Let us know if he's not, by the way. I know there's a few people who suggested that he should be dropped. I'm certainly not one of them. But this is up for debate.
The number 10 role.
The number 10 role.
I think energy.
Energy? Am I going to have to convince you?
No, I don't think you are, because Cesc Fabregas, I don't think at the minute is providing you energy. And I think, you know, everyone's been going on about Ivanovic and maybe Hazard. I really think Cesc Fabregas has been our poorest player this season. I think...
Even the simple stuff, even the ball distribution. He's a product of the Barcelona paradigm where you just keep possession, you do not give the ball away. He's giving the ball away constantly. Yeah,
he's been very poor. I think a lot of it is to do with that playing next to Matic in that system. I think he looks unfit. I think the whole team look unfit, and I think that's been underpinning the whole whole scenario. But I think this game is all about energy. I think it's about taking control of the game. I don't think Fabregas is giving you that at the minute. So while I don't think this player has played particularly well this season, I'd go for Willian in the number 10 role.
I'd agree. I think, you know, Oscar has been out. There's talk of him being back. We're not quite sure yet. But it's such a baptism of fire to throw him in for having just come back from an injury. So with that in mind, I think it has to be Willian. I think that Willian, there's a lot of criticism has been levelled at him. A lot of it is justified. A lot of it isn't. He certainly doesn't score enough goals.
No, definitely not.
But it has to be. His energy and his work rate is going to be so essential.
He adds a lot of other things,
and especially
if you look at what having Ramirez in the centre and Willian in the number 10 role is going to give you. That is that is more energy than Everton's midfield combined.
Covered, isn't it? Right, Charlie. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you the. I know how much you love this man. I know how much you want to talk about this man, and I'm going to leave you to it.
Falcao. No, sorry, just kidding. No, Diego Costa's got to play. In fact, going up to Goodison Park last year, like we mentioned, the 6-3 game. He was on absolute fire. He was picking fights left, right, and centre. He was throwing himself about. He really dug out Seamus Coleman, which was one of my favourite moments of last season. After he scored, no, he really wasn't. He really wasn't. And it's kind of the moment that I realised, you know, we've got a hell of a player on our hands here, and you know, not just for Chelsea fans, for the whole Premier League as well. And I think fans of any team would go along, whether they like him or not. I think they go along with the fact that he is unbelievable to watch. So. I mean, Diego Costa's an absolute shoo-in for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's a wonderful player, and you know, comparisons have been made this week between him and Alan Shearer. So
yeah, by none less than Paul Gascoigne.
Exactly. So yeah, I think our team's up now. Let us know what you think, guys. So this is the team that Charlie and I have come together. One brilliant footballing mind and one very average footballing mind have come together to create this team, and this is the team that we think will win the game. Please do me a favour, if you've enjoyed this video, this is a new segment, so we're trying things out and whatever, give it a thumbs up, because as always, if you enjoy it, we will keep doing it and talk about bringing it in as a regular feature. If you don't, it's your channel, you'll never see it again. But yeah, this is our team. So, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a bit of a nightmare at Goodison Park. I think the whole John Stones thing has given them real ammo. I mean, obviously you've heard the Beatles chant that they're doing. I have
heard the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this can be summed up in a chant.
Sings it in a shower, apparently.
I bet he does. Wow. I'm not sure how this can be summed up in a video, but we did hear news this week that Stones may sign a new contract at Everton, which obviously is music to kind of Toffee's ears. Right. But what he is going to stipulate is that contract must have a £38 million release clause. That's Neil Ashton's story from this week.
Oh God, I'll check that one out. That sounds, so he's going to tie himself up to Everton with a release clause. So it's not really.
Yeah. So basically, if this situation arises again for Chelsea or any other club, obviously Manchester United massively interested in him as well, he will be allowed to talk to that club once a £38 million fee is reached.
Very exciting.
Which, you know, as we well know, wasn't the case this summer.
Fine. Lovely. Charlie, thank you very much.
No worries, Rory.
And as I said before, let us know, give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, why not click the subscribe button? And remember, we are the champions, they are not. Welcome to Backpage Blues. I'm joined by Charlie, the Hurricane Skillen from the Mail Online, and it's time for my favourite part of the week. We're going to answer your questions. So firstly, thank you very much for getting them into us, and secondly, we should probably make a start and get through as many as possible. Shall I go?
Yeah, go on.